Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with I believe we're on the third episode. Sorry, it's been a very fragmented week for recording, but third episode of the Dancer DLC with Margaret Zell. So we've talked with Sulochana. We have now learned about the Occult Cabaret, the Ecdysis Club. We also have a benefactor in the form of Lord Timothy Monday. And of course, this is going to mean that there's a lot of our time that is occupied in terms of, trying to maintain all of these connections, all of these relationships. We're not necessarily any closer to finding occult scraps not specifically occult scraps, but fragments of lore. Of course, the easiest way for me to do that would be to use my heart for things other than work, but we are going to be occupied. I think we're going to be occupied for the next little while, dealing with all of the different connections that we have. So we'll do our best. So let's continue on. Performing at the Gaiety Theatre, the stage awaits hot and clean and bare and bright. If I move the moves and step the steps and do what is required, they will pay me. Exercise or something rarer has invigorated me. Use with another vitality to improve your abilities. Lasts only 3 minutes if unused. So a couple of details to... again, it's just more of a reminder more than anything here, but I'm going to be keeping this vitality sort of to the last minute. I do need to get a fourth, and I'm trying to decide, would it be better for me to just study that now, or should I try and do, hope for another course of the heart? I suppose the big question would be, is there anything that I want to do with the study verb otherwise? And I think right now the answer is no. So we'll say long walks kill cobwebs. And I should maybe just double check that it's the benefactor that's the one that I believe that is considered work. Which of course, again, is sort of fun in its own way. In the first episode, I think I'd sort of talked about sort of reflecting on streaming and maybe some of the demands or some of the different priorities that broadcasters need to sort of follow to meet those kind of the expectations that people have, however reasonable or unreasonable they may be. And certainly the connection with Lord Timothy Monday, and I mean, that's not the only connection, but definitely there's I think there's a little bit of that in it as well. Online makes it a bit different than sort of a physical encounter, but it's certainly something that can be a bit of an issue. One thing that is maybe interesting in these, and I suppose this is also true for the story of the dancer as well, but I think what's so interesting about some of the different, actually not just some, but the different forms of entertainment is that for a lot of people now, it's not just enough to sort of do the work. There's sometimes an expectation of the social presence. So obviously, I think we all have examples of people we like who are, to varying degrees better or worse at social media. But it is certainly, it's unusual, let's say, to run into people who don't have some kind of account, even if it's maintained by someone else. But even then, I mean, I think there's just something very... I definitely think there's something different about having to sort of see someone, and particularly their disappointment when they, you don't live up to their expectations. Tonight they'll notice that. I'm never going to get these sorted out properly. I should just stop trying. Okay, so we've got the light, the dark. Moth finds light in the dark, and so do I. And a lady has arranged for us to be introduced in the glittering cafe across the street. She's very complimentary. She listens attentively to everything I say. She has bought a gift. She hopes that we can be friends. And so we have yet another connection. Nicole, 4th Marchioness of Stanford, a cautious, clever woman with close-set eyes and excellent skin for her age. She has long managed her own financial affairs and donates dutifully to charity. Now, one of the challenges right now is that we've got sort of a 50-second window between our two sort of acquaintances. And then, of course, we have our contract at the Gaiety, which runs sort of every 2 minutes. So trying to keep all of these, these balls in the air is going to be a challenge. But that's That's the job, right? So let's... I'm just trying to think of the best way to handle these things. Let's work at the Gaiety first. So the stage awaits, hot and clean and bare and bright. If I move the moves and step the steps and do what is required, they'll pay me. The airs are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I am sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. And we'll probably use that in the explore verb before too long. Hang on. Silchana Amivasa stands just inside the red swank doorway, smoking one of her peculiar imported clove cigarettes, speaking to a lean, very tall sort who might perhaps be Greek. She watches me approach without blinking or changing her expression. The unveiling of the self. Very well, Sulachana says. I have a job for you. This is a one-time offer. She takes a drag on her cigarette. You'll be taking off your clothes, she adds. She leans in very close. And that's not all. Okay, so we're definitely in a point where we want to start using some of this vitality. So obviously the stuff that's expiring first goes into a lesson learnt. I'm abrim with vitality. If I devote some time to exercise, I'll benefit. I suppose the benefit of the new UI is it gives me something to play around with this. What could I be if I could not be this? Or if I could be not this? Okay, so that glimmering might wind up turned into something else. I'm not sure yet. And we've got a Season of Ardors, so I think our fleeting reminiscence... Oh, wait, we're already using the explore verb, so... And I am refreshed. Alright, tonight I sense opportunity. Tonight I could attract attention if I cease to hold back, if I commit myself more fully. So as always, I'm more than a listen package of flesh and blood, and my name just now is clear. Any guardians remain in the shadows. So again, I'm with Sulachana's offer, there may be a little trouble in terms of managing our different priorities. And sorry, I should have checked to see what the event was. But we have our usual routine, so we're gonna nap, take care of our body. Now, I do technically have enough time to do one more run at the Gaiety, but I think in this case we will do a private performance. So to satisfy my benefactor, I will need to exert my abilities and ensure I look my best. That always has a cost. So health, and then for the glamour, we will spend a bit of money. Perform for a benefactor. My benefactor would be delighted if I'd offer a private performance for a small and refined audience. They'll invite me to dinner afterwards, and of course, offer suitable gifts in return for my time. Okay, another season of ambition, so I may need to keep an eye on my restlessness. Very well, Sulachana says. Oh, hang on, we've already got that taken care of, so... We did get our lore. Great. Okay, so I'm actually going to move the Ecdicist Club elsewhere. Alright, contract at the Ecdicist Club, which apparently is far more favorable terms. I perform at the Ecdicist Club on nights when it's open. So, as always, it's helpful to take a look at some aspects for new things that we've gotten. So, aspect dance, older than language, younger than life. Aspect, a place at the Ecdicist Club. I have won a place on the stage at the Ecdicist Club. And finally, it is aspect job. Finally, we've got our lore, so I'm going to put the lore, I'll put lore in the center for now. And we've got the barber's warning. A power of the wood enjoys the separation of a lock from the scalp. For attention, burn it. For opportunity, bury it. I always love this idea of the idea. So it's kind of just one of these small little details, but I always kind of imagine, just because of the separation of sort of the lock from the scalp, like the idea that long-haired knock followers, or long-haired moth followers are in short supply. That's one of the ways that you would identify members. I realize that it doesn't have to be that way, but it's just kind of a neat little thought for me. Excuse me. Solitude. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. Okay, so we're getting quite cluttered down here, but I don't have a lot of good places for these, particularly with the way the the placement works. So again, we'll let memory guide my steps. I'm feeling lucky. And if I can, taking an opportunity at the Gaiety Club with restlessness would be good. All right, I'm ready to grow stronger. Use this lesson learned with your strength skill, but not until we get a second. I'm abrim with vitality. If I devote some time to exercise, I will benefit. And I am refreshed. So let's start. I do have some passion. We may actually need a little bit more for the benefactor, so let's just hold off on following through on the barber's warning. This may be an indication that I should probably try and level up my passion. Oh, always happy to see a course from the heart. Memory is a maze, and it's heart the garden. All right. Tonight my benefactor will prefer to see me in something new. I should buy something quickly. Oh, gotta spend money to make money. That... Interesting. And I guess we've already identified that the we already know what the extra cost is going to be. So let's take advantage of that and dream with passion. I know this dream. A road crests a hilltop and the air is silver bright. So we will use the barber's warning. Right, I've chosen my attire well for the performance. My benefactor showers me with compliments and gifts. Okay, so we'll probably want to rest to heal that up. And for wealth is certainly nothing to complain about. So the next question is what priorities do I have right now? I think I'm gonna try again. It's nice if I can stagger the demands on my time. So I think I'm gonna go to the Gaiety again, and that will mean that we have a fairly tight window to deal with our other benefactor. But in this case, we'll I think we can manage. The stage awaits, hot and clean and bare and bright. If I move the moves and step the steps and do what is required, they'll pay me. And then exploration-wise, let's try exploring. Crowded thoroughfares by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll walk the streets seeking secrets until I can walk no more. Might be a little early for that, but I think I can get by, particularly because I'm going to be boosting my I'm not ready to hire someone. I don't think we quite need that yet. And my own heart pumps more strongly today. Alright, I'm ready to grow stronger, so we will take our 2 lessons learnt. I grow stronger still. And one thing I could do would be to talk about the barber's warning to try and get some acquaintances, but that's not quite... I don't quite need to do that yet. Alright, extra effort. We probably aren't going to get the restlessness in time. That's probably also going to mean that the restlessness needs to get used through other means. I could cut a lock of hair before I sleep to honor the power of the wood. Alright, so this I believe will turn into a restlessness. Ingi rum imus noc te et consumi snip snip snip. Just trying to think. I don't think I can do anything else with the influences, but I tend to overlook the possibilities sometimes, so. I felt all their eyes upon me. Afterwards, I received a gift from an admirer. A little too personal for me to feel comfortable, but I can sell it on the second-hand market. Okay. Got a little bit of a mess here. I don't think I can put these... I remember there was something about the ability to stack decaying cards, but I don't think that's true for exhausted cards. So we're going to take this health and recover with a nap. I've got 13 seconds for my benefactor, but that's fine because we've got our health back in 4, and then of course we're also working on the on getting another unit of health. So another private performance. To satisfy my benefactor, I will need to exert my abilities and ensure that I look my best. That will always have a cost. But generally, that pays off rather well for us. So my benefactor would be delighted if I'd offer a private performance for a small and refined audience. They'll invite me to dinner afterwards, and of course offer suitable gifts in return for my time. Now, I am a little worried about whether or not they will want my passion, because that's definitely been burnt. But we'll do our best. I'm no further along my path of change. In the movements of the secret forms, I must find my lesson. So this restlessness may be a problem, but we'll see if I can make this work. Sorry, I should have been paying attention to. Okay, season of sickness. We've got a vitality already, so we can run by. And a hireling better not. I must be careful of the company I keep. So this is a little inconvenient, just because I had a nice thing going with the spare health and such, but we'll be able to nap and still get it back. I'm refreshed. Okay, so put you back there. Obviously, I'd like to use dreaming for other things, but I gotta work with what I've been given. And finally, the machine, my body, ripples with power. So you may not know it to look at me, but I have grown as strong as a smith or a soldier. Now, we're already on our way to getting another lesson learned. One of these is going to be used to deal with the sickness, but we're actually in pretty good shape. I'm a little worried about the contract and the Gaiety and Lord Timothy Monday, but I think we can... I actually think I'm going to wind up disappointing one. Should probably deal with the private performance first. And I should be using my study slot when I can. Tonight my benefactor is full of energy. I should be too. Uh-oh. Okay. I think the glimmering may have already gone, but we'll keep working on it. And Course of the Heart, I am refreshed. And whenever the principle of heart is implicated, I may gain vitality. So again, we're actually laughing as far as being able to get all those improvements. Now, I actually do have enough time to be able to deal with Lord Timothy Monday and the contract at the Gaiety. The restlessness, unfortunately, is going to decay. After the performance, I am flushed and I am perspiring, but my benefactor seems to like that. They have brought me a glittering little something. So 5 funds, and we didn't need to spend any extra for our outfit. Okay, so I gotta be careful on the timing, but perform at the Gaiety Theatre. The stage awaits, hot and clean and bare and bright. If I move the moves and step the steps and do what is required, they'll pay me. And you know what? I think I'm... Actually, no, with sickness I'm gonna need an extra... I am going to need an extra health, so I normally would have gone exploring at this point, but I do need to settle that. Now, ideally, I'm not going to have sort of a moment of inspiration and I can go straight to my benefactor, but I shouldn't bank on that. And we do have a Season of Despair coming up, so unfortunately this dread's going to hit me if I can't find a way of getting contentment soon. Visiting the Ecdysis Club as a client might allow me that, but it also potentially gives me some negative reputation. As it is, though, let's visit as a client. The entrance is lost beneath soft drapes of crimson cinnabar and incardinine. Above the door, the club motto, Ingi rum imis noc teet consumi morigni. It has been rendered as, into the night circle we fly until the fire enjoys us. In tonight's performance, Amethyst, a net-wielding hunter, pursues a veil-winged woman through a murmuring maze of leaf-clad dancers. Each movement is underwater slow. Now, oddly enough, Fascination would normally be bad, but this still helps me, so we'll be able to get by. I need to make sure I keep the dream slot open as well. My own heart pumps more strongly today. Okay. We'll just let time run by and see how it all turns out. I definitely have some sort of priorities in terms of timing, but we should be able to get it all done. The lights go down very gradually as the performance ends. There is no applause. We each drift into the street, alone with our dream. So under other circumstances, this might be helpful in terms of just in terms of getting other outcomes. But in this case here, I'm going to use the fascination to quiet the dread. We'll get past the season, and then I might do something with any fleeting reminiscence that comes up. But we'll just see what the upcoming turns produce. Also, I think I said I needed to keep the dream slot open. Oh, right, because of the vitality. Okay, so this is one. I'm going to want to combine at least one of these. And, oh, excellent. So I do have a little extra time with my benefactor. Still, in this case, it makes sense to pay up for the extra. My benefactor would be delighted if I'd offer a private performance for a small and refined audience. They'll invite me to dinner afterwards, and of course offer suitable gifts in return for my time. So we'll wait for the study verb to become available, but because this vitality is going to be lost. Oh, right. I do have contentment, but I'm not going to have the dream available. So I got what I wished for, but what I wished for wasn't good for me. Okay. So let's ignore the glimmering for now. I'm going to combine these two vitality with a lesson learned. It does give me a bit of a priority to try and boost the vitality, but we'll worry about that later. This dread's going to get picked up. I don't think there's any way that I can deal with that. Because I had to get rid of the fascination. All right, and this illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. Cure your affliction with funds or vitality. Now I have the funds for it, but in this case we'll just use the vitality. As for the dread, though, I've got a Season of Ardors, so that will, assuming that the benefactors don't get affected by that, I'll actually be in a position to absorb that threat as well. Tonight my benefactor is full of energy. I should be too. All right, well, that's going to create complications for the next few performances, but the air's curdled now. I'm home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. So let's recover the affliction, and we should be able to move on. I would like to have my health available for other things, but after the performance, I am flushed and I am perspiring, but my benefactor seems to like that. They have brought me a glittering little something. Okay, now I'm in a little bit of a lucky situation, so again, the ideal is to try and stagger out the requirements. I haven't quite been living up to that ideal, but I am going to still do the same thing here. So we're going to go to the Gaiety Club, or Gaiety Theater. The stage awaits hot and clean and bare and bright. If I move the moves and step the steps and do what is required, they'll pay me. And of course, we should be able to make it to the other engagement. And of course, we'll have an extra health that comes up from healing. Now, whether or not we get a chance to turn this into a lesson learned is another question, but I'm going to do my best. I'm ready to grow stronger. So one thing I could try and do is study with my health. I don't think I have any immediate need for it, so this is a kind of an insurance policy for this vitality, and we'll see whether or not we can trigger any more health events. One drawback is that these current engagements are keeping me from performing at the Ecdysis Club, and it would be good for me to try and sort of pursue that. There is, of course, the business of trying to found the cult and such as well, but that's maybe a little bit less important. Excellent. So there's the... Right, tonight I sense opportunity. Tonight I could attract attention if I cease to hold back, if I commit myself more fully. So again, we can use an ability or a restlessness. I'm actually curious if reason does anything. No, it doesn't. I didn't think it would, but... tonight they'll notice that. And I think our effort to try and boost our passion kind of fell flat. Alright, the sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. So if I have an opportunity to rest to improve my health, I'll take it. And I felt their eyes upon me. Afterwards, I received a gift from an admirer. A little too personal to feel comfortable, but I can sell it on the second-hand market. So back to the dream slot. And I don't see a lot of value in delaying these, so we will spend our health, we will spend some money, and my benefactor would be delighted if I'd offer a private performance for a small and refined audience. They'll invite me to dinner afterwards, and of course offer suitable gifts in return for my time. So there is a small argument to using the health for exploration, but it'd be great if I could just get one more health before I start that cycle. I've neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. So we pretty much have to throw the vitality into a lesson learned right away. That does create a small risk for me just because I need to... Actually, okay, there is a small risk doing this, but there's also the chance that I generate another vitality, so we will search the city. Crowded thoroughfares by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll walk the streets seeking secrets until I can walk no more. Now, the drawback to this is that if it's a hiring, I wind up taking even longer, which means that my health is denied to me for a longer period of time. But we'll see what happens, and then we can make some decisions based on that. An overlooked place I might have found somewhere unusual. And Moreland's shop. Now this is great because we have quite a bit of money, and I think this is a chance for us to make a better use of our study verb. It's not that... So it's nice to be able to sort of build up our skills, and of course we are someone who sort of relies a little bit more on our abilities. It's funny that if you think about like Glover and Glover, they never require you to use... so really when you use passion, it's to like beg for your job back. You can be very single-minded in all of the other professions, but the dancer is actually one that calls on you to have a little bit of everything, right? You need health, sometimes you need passion, and you need to be really careful in terms of how you balance your time, which I think is very interesting. Because of course we don't normally think of those kinds of those jobs as being ones that would require kind of that extra, I guess that extra effort, or such a diverse range of abilities. But it's very clear to see why navigating these waters, you do need to sort of bring a little bit of everything. So we'll just let the timer run through for the performance. We'll take care of our last step, and then we will call it. All right, tonight my benefactor would prefer to see me in something new. I should buy something quickly. So there's the funds. We will also take a quick peek at Moreland's. Add to your library. It takes time to sort the gold from the dross, the wheat from the chaff, the blood from the water. If I buy enough books, I'll find something interesting. And having checked with our first visit to Moreland's, I think we will end that for tonight. Thank you for watching. I know I say this sort of stuff at the end, but it is always appreciated. If you are enjoying the series and you'd like to be notified, you can hit the subscription button, and there's also the little bell for notifications whenever a new video is available. And of course, if you would like, you can leave a comment and a like. Likes and comments definitely help me get noticed. I suppose you can leave... I've noticed more people are leaving dislikes now, which I think is actually a function of the channel growing, which is nice in its own way, but obviously it's a little harder to action when I don't have the context for it. But YouTube gives you the option, so I suppose you can do that as well. But either way, I do like reading your comments. I like I like that so many of you are so willing to support the channel. It does give me reasons to keep doing this, and I really appreciate that. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in the next one.